What do you do when God gives you a dream, but life keeps saying no? When the rejection comes again? When the notebook stays closed? When you start to wonder if you imagined the whole thing? This episode is for the woman who is still waiting, who wrote the prayers, who believed the promises, who keeps asking God, "Did I miss it? Did I get it wrong? Have you forgotten me?" Sophie asked that question on a rooftop at midnight, and what happened next changed everything.
Every story starts with faith.
Her name is Sophie, and ever since she was little, she carried big dreams inside her heart. Late at night, while the city slept outside her apartment window, Sophie sat quietly at her desk, surrounded by journals, sketches, unfinished ideas, and plans for the future. Dreams about purpose, dreams about ministry, dreams about creating something meaningful. The notebooks were full, every page, every margin. Ideas she had carried for years, dreams she once felt certain God had placed inside her heart, still there, still waiting, still unfinished. For a moment, she smiled, because deep down a part of her still wanted to believe, still wanted to trust, still wanted to hope, that the dreams were real, that the waiting had a reason, that God had not forgotten a single word she had ever whispered to him in the dark. But some nights were harder than others, the kind of nights when the pen moved slowly, when the words came out like prayers she didn't know how to finish, when the tears fell before she even understood why. She wrote anyway, because sometimes writing to God is the only way to find him again. Sophie hadn't planned on remembering tonight, but Maya had other ideas, tail wagging, eyes bright, carrying something small and forgotten straight back to her. It was her, just a little girl. Messy red lipstick across her face, wild blonde hair, oversized pajamas, big innocent eyes full of wonder. Back then, she believed anything was possible. No fear, no pressure, no disappointment, just dreams. But suddenly, ding! An email notification interrupted the moment. Sophie looked toward her laptop. Another rejection. The opportunity she hoped for was gone. And just like that, reality came rushing back in. One by one, Sophie started closing notebooks, deleting unfinished ideas from her computer. Maybe the dreams were childish. Maybe she waited too long. Maybe she misunderstood God completely. The little girl with the lipstick felt very far away now. That night, Sophie stood on the rooftop overlooking the city lights below. The cold wind moved through her hair. Maya sat quietly beside her, and for the first time in a long while, she asked the question she was afraid to say out loud. God, did I just make all of this up? The silence felt heavy. She looked out at all the glowing windows below, all those lives, all those people, and she wondered quietly, does everyone else know something I don't? Has everyone else already found their purpose? Or is someone else out there, standing on their own rooftop, asking the same question into the same silence? Then Maya gently nudged her hand. Sophie looked down and noticed the Bible resting beside her under the soft rooftop light. She hadn't brought it out here intentionally, but there it was, quiet, patient, waiting. Slowly she opened it. Her voice trembled quietly. God, if these dreams came from you, please remind me. It wasn't a perfect prayer. It wasn't a confident prayer, but it was the most honest thing she had said in months. Suddenly, warm golden light began glowing from the pages. And Sophie felt something she hadn't felt in a very long time. Not certainty, not answers, just presence. The kind that reminds you that you were never actually alone. When the light faded, she found herself standing on a peaceful hillside, surrounded by families, disciples, and people listening carefully to Jesus teach. The sun glowed warmly across the hills, and the air felt different here, lighter, quieter, like a place where fear had no authority. And then Sophie noticed her, a young girl sitting close to Jesus, wide eyes, completely still, hanging on every single word. No doubt, no distraction, no fear that she was too small to be seen, just faith, pure and simple and whole, the way Sophie used to feel before the world taught her to be afraid. Jesus spoke gently about trusting the Father, about how God feeds the birds of the air and clothes the flowers of the field with beauty. And if God cares so deeply for them, how much more does He care for His children? Nothing is forgotten by Him, not even the dreams hidden deep inside a person's heart. Then Sophie realized something beautiful. The delay did not mean abandonment. The rejection did not mean the dream was dead. And just because she could not yet see the full picture, did not mean God had stopped working. The same God who placed the dream inside her heart was still writing the story, one chapter at a time, in His own handwriting, at exactly the right pace. Golden light slowly surrounded Sophie again as the hillside faded away. Moments later, she was back inside her apartment. Morning sunlight now filled the room. Maya stretched peacefully nearby, and this time, Sophie did not delete the ideas. Instead, she reopened the notebook, one page at a time, one dream at a time, not with pressure, not with fear, but with peace. She picked up the pen, and for a long moment, she just held it. Then slowly, she wrote the first word, just one, but it was enough, because beginning again, even imperfectly, even trembling, is still an act of faith. The dream did not begin with Sophie, it began with God, and if God was faithful enough to place it in her heart, He would also be faithful enough to lead her through the waiting. The dream was never lost. It was only being prepared. And so was she. If this episode touched your heart, if you have ever sat with a dream that felt forgotten, if you have ever whispered to God, "Did I miss it?" You are not alone, and neither was Sophie. Subscribe to Sophie and Maya, A Journey of Faith. Because every week we tell the stories that remind us God has not forgotten. Not the dream, not the prayer, not you.